video, I decided that I wanted to do a history of the NHL video, because I think that's like a good starting point for people just getting into hockey. So, yeah. I have everything written down in a notebook, because I didn't want, like, to look at my computer, because I'm still filming on my computer. And all of this literally is like from my brain. It's my research that I did. There's like several pages. None of it is AI. I don't like AI. It's all from my brain. And if I got anything wrong, this is all from the internet, so let me know. Okay, so let's get started. The NHL started as the NHA, the National Hockey Association. The NHA was founded in 1909 in Montreal, Quebec, Canada, by a man named Ambrose O'Brien. Initially, the league consisted of the Montreal Canadiens, Montreal Wanderers, Ottawa Senators, Quebec Bulldogs, and the Toronto Blue Shirts. However, in 1917, Eddie Livingston, the owner of the Blue Shirts, and the rest of the NHA had some disputes over scheduling and player rights, which forced the NHA to part with Livingston and form the NHL, the National Hockey League. Livingston's Toronto team was replaced by the Toronto Arenas. For the first 25 years of its existence, the NHL competed with two other major leagues, the Pacific Coast Hockey Association and the Western Canada Hockey League, for the coveted and elusive Stanley Cup. The NHL saw its first expansion into the United States in 1924 with the founding of the Boston Bruins. By that time, the NHL consisted of 10 teams from the Great Lakes region, Ontario, Quebec, and the northeastern United States. The NHL quickly assumed the status of a major league, and in 1947, they completed a deal for the Stanley Cup trustees to reserve rights for the trophy. Simultaneously, the NHL's media presence grew in Canada thanks to Foster Hewitt's radio show. I have no idea what this sounds like because I don't have earbuds right now, so I apologize if it's really bad. Unfortunately, by the 1930s and 1940s, the Great Depression and World War II struggles reduced the league to only 6 teams. The Boston Bruins, the Chicago Blackhawks, the Detroit Red Wings, the Montreal Canadiens, the New York Rangers, and the Toronto Maple Leafs. These 6 teams were dubbed the Original Six. Next page. The Original Six era ended in 1967 when the NHL doubled in size by adding six expansion teams: the Los Angeles Kings, the Philadelphia Flyers, the St. Louis Blues, the Minnesota North Stars, the Pittsburgh Penguins, and the California Golden Seals. The original 6 teams formed the East Division, and the expansion teams made up the West Division. They then continued to expand, adding the Buffalo Sabres and Vancouver Canucks in 1970, the New York Islanders and Atlanta Flames in 1972, and the Washington Capitals and Kansas City Scouts in 1974. This continued NHL expansion was partially due to ongoing competition with the World Hockey Association, the WHA. whalers, reducing the NHL to only 17 teams for the 1978 to 79 season. The WHA, on the other hand, consisted of the New England Whalers, Quebec Nordiques, Alberta Whalers, Winnipeg Jets, Cincinnati Stingers, and the Houston Aeros. The WHA was chronically unstable and on the verge of collapse in 1977 when a merger was proposed. At first, the NHL rejected the absorption of the 6 WHA teams, but a merger was approved in 1979. 4 of the 6 WHA teams joined the NHL for the 1979-80 season. Alberta became the Edmonton Whalers, the New England Whalers became the Hartford Whalers, the Quebec Nordiques and Winnipeg Jets also joined the league. After the 1979-80 season, the Atlanta Flames were sold to Calgary, and the Rockies moved to Jersey, becoming the New Jersey Devils. This all occurred by the 1982-83 season. From the 1979 merger until 1991, the NHL consisted of 21 teams. The Boston Bruins, Buffalo Sabres, Calgary Flames, Chicago Blackhawks, Detroit Red Wings, Edmonton Oilers, Hartford Whalers, Los Angeles Kings, Minnesota North Stars, Montreal Canadiens, New Jersey Devils, New York Rangers, Philadelphia Flyers, Pittsburgh Penguins, Quebec Nordiques, St. Louis Blues, Toronto Maple Leafs, Vancouver Canucks, Washington Capitals, and Winnipeg Jets. The NHL saw its second major expansion in 1991 with the return of the NHL to the Bay Area. In 91, the San Jose Sharks essentially replaced the Golden Seals, which was in Oakland. In 92, the league added the Tampa Bay Lightning, and the Ottawa Senators made their return after leaving when the NHA disbanded almost 80 years prior. In 1993, the Mighty Ducks of Anaheim joined with the help of Walt Disney Studios, and the Florida Panthers joined from Sunrise, Florida. Also in 1993, the Minnesota North Stars relocated to Texas, dropped the North, and became the Dallas Stars. After a 1994-95 lockout, the Nordiques, due to a struggling French-Canadian market, were moved to Denver and became the Colorado Avalanche. By 1996, the Winnipeg Jets had moved to Phoenix as the Arizona Coyotes. The Hartford Whalers moved to Raleigh and became the Carolina Hurricanes. In 1997, in 1998, the Nashville Predators came into the NHL and Georgia got its team back with the addition of the Atlanta Thrashers. In the year 2000, the Minnesota Wild and the Columbus Blue Jackets also joined the league. Sorry, that was getting slightly cumbersome, so I took it off the holder. To continue, the league experienced ups and downs throughout the 2000s. There was a lockout in the 2004 to 2005 season due to financial struggles, as well as officiating and rules controversies that needed to be addressed. This turmoil led to the Coyotes filing for bankruptcy and the relocation of the Atlanta Thrashers to Winnipeg, where they became the new version of the Jets. There was another lockout in 2012, which greatly shortened that season. These lockouts happen due to disagreements between the NHL and its players' union, the NHL Players Association, or the NHLPA. The NHLPA officially formed in 1967 to represent pro hockey players in the NHL. Its roots trace back to 1957, with pioneers Ted Lindsay and Doug Harvey spearheading the first players' union. The NHLPA was, and always has been, met with heavy resistance from the NHL. They negotiate CBAs, or collective bargaining agreements, which give players stronger rights to salaries, all season. In April 2024, the Arizona Coyotes, who had struggled for decades, were officially deactivated and sold to Utah. They started in 2024-25 as the Utah Hockey Club and became known as the Utah Mammoth for the 2025-26 season. Now, the NHL consists of 32 teams, 2 conferences, and 4 divisions. The Western Conference includes the Pacific and Central divisions. The Sharks, Ducks, Oilers, Kraken, Kings, Flames, Canucks, and Golden Knights make up the Pacific. The Avalanche, Mammoth, Blackhawks, Blues, Jets, Predators, Stars, and Wild make up the Central. The Eastern Conference consists of the Atlantic and Metropolitan divisions. The Bruins, Canadiens, Lightning, Maple Leafs, Panthers, Red Wings, Sabres, and Senators make up the Atlantic. The Blue Jackets, Capitals, Devils, Flyers, Hurricanes, Islanders, Penguins, and Rangers make up the Metro. In the 2025-26 season, there were 82 regular season games. 17 players completed an 82-game Ironman season, including notable players like Macklin Celebrini and Brent Burns. The Colorado Avalanche were the President's Trophy winners as the best team in the regular season, which means they won their division and conference as well as the entire league. The Golden Knights won the Pacific, the Sabres won the Atlantic, and the Hurricanes won the Metro, as well as the entire Eastern Conference. The Carolina Hurricanes went on to be this year's Stanley Cup champions. 16 teams make the Stanley Cup playoffs in April. 8 teams from each conference complete for the Cup. The top 3 teams from each division make playoffs, as well as two wildcard teams from each conference. The conference winner, like Colorado or Vegas, like Colorado or Carolina, plays wildcard number 2. And the second and third teams in each division play each other. So in the Central this year, round 1 was Colorado and LA, Dallas and Minnesota, and that was the West. Dallas and Minnesota, that was the Central. I apologize, that was the Central, not the West. Then Vegas played Utah, and then Edmonton and Anaheim played each other in the Pacific. That is the first round. After round 1, the remaining teams from each division play each other, booting 2 teams from each side. The winners of round 2 are the division champions, and they play each other in round 3, which is the conference final. Then each conference champion go to face off in the Stanley Cup final. This year, that was the Vegas Golden Knights and the Carolina Hurricanes. The 2026-27 season will feature an 84-game regular season, which starts in late September. So, that about does it. Obviously, that's not every detail. That's not every story. There's a lot more that can be talked about. But that is like the meat and potatoes of how the NHL came to be. What it started as, how we got here, and where it is now. So, if you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up, comment, share, subscribe. That would really help a girl out. This is so much fun for me, so yeah. Thank you so much for clicking on this video and watching it the whole way through. I love you. I hope that this video helped you relax and that it taught you something. And sleep well and you go to a hockey game, or at least watch